Greetings, guys, girls, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. This was not the video I was intending on making this week. However, on my planning day for my video, I was sitting at my desk, staring at my computer, and then I kind of just unprompted burst into tears. Because I was on day one of my period and I just I couldn't do anything, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I thought that what I would do was turn that into being productive in a way of finding validation, and realizing that I could also validate other people. So what I did was I went through TikTok and I went through Reddit looking at people talking about their PMDD, which, if you don't know, stands for premenstrual dysphoria disorder, which is like PMS but amped up. It's PMS but it comes with deeply depressed thoughts and suicidal thoughts and just really bad mental health that comes 1 to 2 weeks before your period. And mine gets progressively worse from 7 days before my period until day 1 of my period, and then day 2 we're home free. I have not been officially diagnosed with this. This is just this is a self-diagnosis based off of everything that I have read and my own experiences. And so today I thought that I would sit down and have a look through some of this information and also these relatable memes, because I think in general there's such a lack of education around our reproductive health, right? Especially when it comes to the female body. There is so little research and information and there's so much invalidation and just medical neglect that exists, and it's become so normal to talk about things that are not normal and normalize them. And I just want to help some people who may feel like what they're experiencing is a totally normal thing and they don't deserve any support and it's nothing. I just want to kind of give you a voice and maybe help some of you realize that you aren't alone and what you're going through is not actually normal, and you should and can ask for help. So that is my purpose today. If you are a PMDD sufferer or think that you might be, this one is for you. And also I think in general it's good to have an understanding of what other people are going through, whether you experience it or not. So hopefully this is fun and educational at the same time. And speaking of fun education along the lines of sexual health, I today am partnering with Beducated. Beducated is an online platform that exists to educate you and inform you on all things to do with sexual health and pleasure. They have over 150 courses that includes video tutorials, practical exercises, and reliable information on anything to do with intimacy. And it has such a wide variety in the courses that it offers as well, whether it be kink or self-pleasure or just, the basic first steps into having a sexual encounter and just being safe and practicing consent, communication. All of that can be found with Beducated. It is such an incredible platform and so important too, because especially as queer people, as most of you are, there is such a lack of good sex education that happens in school, and in general it's really difficult to find good in-depth education. It is hard to find answers to the questions that you might have, and it can make going into sexual situations very scary and daunting. And so Beducated is such an incredible resource for that, and it can help take off the edge of some of that anxiety, whether you are feeling anxious about going into a situation or you just have questions about how different things work. Beducated provides you with a place to find that information and find it in a safe and healthy way that means you can apply it in a safe and healthy way as well. And hopefully makes you feel a bit more confident, a bit more empowered, and a bit more normal as well, because like we all have questions, we all have to learn, and I think that it's just really important and really great to be able to have access to that. And I have teamed up with Beducated to give you 65% off an annual subscription when you use my code Kiwi69 with the link in the description. It is such a great investment because the things you learn are lifelong. You will learn these lessons and you will carry them with you. It'll help to make you feel more empowered, more comfortable, and deepen the relationship you have both with yourself and with a current partner, future partners, whatever. I think it's really cool and really important, and I am really glad to be working with Beducated, and I hope that you all take advantage of this discount and learn a little bit more that you may have been denied at some point in your life. Yeah, so that is available through to the end of November, so please do get in there quick. That is Kiwi69 with the link in the description for 65% off an annual pass and a 14-day risk-free money-back guarantee if you are not happy with the service. So thank you so much, Beducated, for sponsoring today's video. It is incredibly fitting for the theme. So yeah, let's dive into the video, shall we? First up, I think it's important I'll show you a TikTok of someone sort of describing PMDD, so you sort of have a bit of an understanding of what it is and the situation that I'm in, that you may be in, etc. So
if you're neurodivergent, assigned female at birth, and want to unalive yourself the week before your period every month, do I have the comorbidity for you? Hi, my name's Alyssa. I'm a recovering eldest daughter of ADHD, and I have PMDD, which is something I only recently found out because I was on hormonal birth control for a decade, and only the past couple of months have I received a regular period and the symptoms that come along with that period. PMDD is basically PMS squared, but it's when you have critically concerning symptoms around depression, anxiety, thoughts of unaliving yourself the week before your period or during your luteal phase, and then the moment you get your period, it's like, oh my God, what was I thinking? You're also just finding out alongside me, PMDD disproportionately affects women with ADHD and women with autism. In fact, 92% of women with autism have PMDD. 92%! 46% of us with ADHD also have PMDD, and having ADHD is already having a lower level of dopamine, so boy, oh boy, before your period does that dopamine drop. There are so many different supplements to take and things to help, but the point of this video is just to let you know you are not alone.
So, isn't that fun information? Finding out that like 92% of autistic menstruators and 46% of ADHD have PMDD is wild. That's wild, actually. Oh my God. So, you know, if you're watching this, not to like generalize my audience, but if you're watching this, there is a high chance that you may relate to this. And finding this out was so fascinating to me as well, because obviously I have diagnosed ADHD, so I was like, okay, so I'm feeling valid in my self-diagnosis here into this is probably a thing that I in fact do suffer from. And it's taken me such a long time to find out because I also I went on contraception when I was just after I turned 15, and I only got my first period like 3 months before that. And I didn't come off contraception at all until a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I am very new, like in the grand scheme of things, to actually like being on a cycle and like without hormonal birth control happening in my body. And since I got it removed, because I had the Mirena, since I got that taken out, it's like progressively gotten like worse and worse as time has gone by, until this point where I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. And finding out that that's not normal, I'm like, okay. Okay, this isn't how everyone's feeling. Thank God. I'm glad that we aren't all experiencing this, but I really did think it was something that everyone was experiencing because of the way that we do talk about it, and we have normalized this idea so much. And I also felt validated in the sense of like, okay, it makes sense because my ADHD medication does not work anywhere near as well in that week leading up to my period. And I've seen multiple people being like, does your ADHD medication stop working before your period? I'm like, yeah, girl, it does. I'm like, the amount of times I've Googled like, does your period stop your ADHD meds from working? Like, what's happening? And it can do, because, you know, dopamine levels crash, it's not as effective. Very frustrating. Just wanted to let you all know here that there's a high chance that this does affect you, and it is not normal. You aren't alone, but it's not what should be happening. And as she said, there are like things that you can do to help it. There are some sort of supplements and stuff that can be helpful for people. Some people go on like SSRIs, which is an antidepressant. Some people find it useful to have hormonal birth control or whatever, but also some people don't like having this other side effects that come with that. Me personally, I think I'm going to go and talk to my doctor about starting hormonal birth control again, because it's worth the sacrifice to me. Also, obviously, if you're taking other medication, there's like risk of interaction and stuff. So, you know, before you go Googling like, what supplements can I take? Make sure that you can actually take those things with your current medication, because I've Googled a few supplements and it's like, do not take those if you are taking this. And I'm like, okay, caution. But yeah, this is basically what PMDD is, where you spend like a week or two being like, why do I want to die? I don't understand. I was like totally fine yesterday. What's happening right now? I don't. A week ago I was doing so good, and now not so much. Yeah, so let's get into some other people talking about their experiences and things. Okay, this is 7 things that are hard to explain if you have PMDD. This is 1 to 2 weeks before your period. Ruminating negative thought loops, paranoia, unrelenting anxiety. Listen, it's so funny, purely because I only just started noticing this pattern quite recently. I was like, this seems to happen a lot. What's going on? And then I realized it was correlated. It does happen a week before my period every time. And it does, the main component of it is those really intense thought spirals and paranoia of like, I have one thought, like I'm fine. And then I have one thought and I'm spiraling so deep into myself. And then I want to run away. Felt. Indescribable rage, severe mood swings, meltdowns. Weight and head feeling, no motivation. Uncomfortable in own skin, overstimulated by existence. Memory problems, brain fog, forgetfulness. Constant urge to run away or hurt yourself. Digestive issues, nausea, pain, diarrhea. Listen, the like constant urge to run away or hurt yourself is also like, that's so real. It's like, I want to disappear. I want to escape my skin. I don't know how to explain it other than like, I feel too big for my body. Like, I just don't want to be in my body anymore. It feels like a prison. And that's the same as the being overstimulated by life thing, right? Like, my clothes feel wrong. My skin feels wrong. My body is foreign and I need to not be in it anymore. I would like to leave my body and go somewhere else and not exist anymore. I don't want to like die per se. I don't want to be alive either. And there's no reason for it. No reason. None at all. It's just kind of my brain. Yeah? That's kind of how it goes. Feeling happy, healthy, and mentally stable. And she's standing there drinking tea. And then it's my PMDD. And it's like glaring over her like, ha ha ha, you thought. And yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I was trying to write down this experience and I kind of like, as I said, it kind of gets worse throughout the week, 8 or 9 days. And it's like this thing of like, I feel fine. Life is good. I'm doing chill. And then I'm just sitting there and I'm like doing something. And then I have just this like niggling in the back of my head that's like, I'm gonna plant an anxious thought for no reason. I'm just gonna say something really out of pocket, and I'm just gonna make you sit and think about that. It kind of feels like a claw kind of like caressing my brain, being like, I'm gonna be there soon. I'm gonna have control in a minute. Don't you worry. I'm a coming. Tick tock, tick tock. And then by the end of it, it's kind of like got my brain in its grasp and is like squeezing really hard, right? It starts as a whisper and it becomes all consuming. Yeah, it like looms over you until it has you, I think is like the best way to describe that for me anyway. It's just not fun. This is me making the most nihilistic, deeply concerning, would get me admitted to a ward journal entry and then realizing my period starts tomorrow. That's also like really accurate. It's really funny to go back over like text messages and stuff. Like I've searched up keywords and messages before and like seen the date in which I've said them, or like I'll go through my notes and like look at my writing and like the songs and poems I've written and I'll see the date and I'm like, that makes sense. I was in fact a few days before my period when I wrote that deeply depressing thing. Right, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you can write some really concerning things because it's like, I don't know what it is. I don't understand why my brain like decides that being alive means nothing for a week every month, but like it's incredibly annoying. Makes great art though. Pain makes good art. I'm really bad at writing about being happy. It's hard to be motivated to write when you're happy. Like, I feel like art about pain, it's easier to create. So, you know, on the bright side, I get my best writing done when I'm in my week before my period. And oh my God, this is a perfect time for self-promo. Thinking about writing things, you'll never guess what I am finally actually working towards. I'm finally actually actively working to make music again. Everybody hold your applause. Thank you. After a like almost 6-year break of making music, I'm finally actually doing it. And I'm really, really excited to share that with you all. So, you know, if you aren't aware, because a lot of people aren't aware because they don't talk about it, I studied music at uni. I've always done music. Music has always been my like number one thing that I love. But starting YouTube meant I put it on pause because I didn't have the time. I released an EP back when I was 17, and then I released 2 singles back 5 years ago that I love and I'm still really proud of. My end screen song, also people don't realize, that is me, that is my song. It is called Monsters and Fairies under the name Savannah, which I will actually be changing to Kiwi. But I love music and I love creating and talking about my story and my journey through that, and I am really excited to start doing that again and to be able to share that with you. And so, you know, if you want to embark on this journey with me, just tune in, stick around. I am going to be posting a lot of behind the scenes sort of stuff over on Patreon, patreon.com/savvycat. I've added like music stuff to tiers because making music is very expensive. Like, it is so expensive. So I do really appreciate the support over there, or if you can't support me over there, just interacting with my videos really does help me out. Following me over on Instagram, the Queer Kiwi, and also subscribing to my channel where all of my music videos are. Is linked in the description. It's just called Savannah. I will be changing it. But yeah, that's where I'll be posting music when it eventually comes out. I'll probably also post it here though, because this is where everyone is, but it'll be in both places. Anyway, pain makes good writing is what I was getting at. And I actually wrote something about this just to keep on relevance, because I was in the midst of it, and I when I was feeling like at sort of like the midpoint of the week, when it was like just getting to the like high bit, and I also knew what was going to happen once I got to day 1 of my period, I wrote this. My mind doesn't belong to me. I'm in a prison made of skin. I want to tear the flesh from my bones, escape this hell I'm trapped in. I'll do anything to end it, anything at all. I just don't want to suffer anymore. Please. Oh, I'm actually totally fine now. And I just feel like that sums up the experience so well. It comes from nowhere and it ends like that. It's wild. Looking at my like I've been trying to track my period and my symptoms and like my emotions, and looking at day 1 of my period versus like day 2 and written down how I feel is so funny. It's so funny. It's so sudden. It's actually kind of scary. That's something that I wrote and shared. And now that we've got that fun little promo out of the way, moving on to the next one.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't really know if I'm experiencing PMDD symptoms right now or if I'm just depressed a little bit. But then I think about ghosting everybody that's in my life so they can't leave me and hurt me first. And then I realize that I'm absolutely experiencing PMDD symptoms.
Yeah, also incredibly accurate. The like wanting to ghost everyone in your life. Yeah, same. I also get the overwhelming urge to like delete all my social media and then go like live in a cave. I just like, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to exist anymore. So I'm going to go run away. And yeah, that's totally a good idea. I'm going to make a really rash decision. Luckily, I don't make any impulsive decisions and I don't do that. That's great, because some people do that. The urge is very high. It is incredibly high. This is when other girlies hate day 2 of their period, but you're a PMDD girly, so this is what it feels like. This is incredibly, yeah, this is me. This was me yesterday. I was so productive yesterday. I was feeling so good. I went out and I met with a producer yesterday, and I was like, I'm having a good time. I'm talking, I'm communicating, I'm like feeling excited and happy. The previous day was absolutely like not doing any of that, so it was great. It's the complete flip. Day two is like the single best day. After looking through all of these TikToks, I decided to move on to Reddit and find some fun little memes as well, because memes are always a fun way to cope about these sorts of things, right? I think so. So let's have a look at some PMDD memes and Reddit posts. I really enjoy the amount of posts there are like this one, which is just fuck with like 7 U's, and then the text is just fuck this illness. You know what? Fair. Yeah, agreed. So true. So true. You are correct. That is pretty much sums up the experience very well. Good job. When you make plans when you're in a good mood, but then the day comes and you'd actually rather die. And it's a little chihuahua sitting at the wheel of their car, all glammed up, but obviously not really feeling the vibe. And this is also like, yeah, I feel like this is relatable for just like life in general, especially people who are like neurodivergent or have like anxiety, depression, OCD, any of those sorts of things. But obviously it also very much applies in these situations as well. But also it's kind of shit to be like, I just won't make plans at all for those 1 or 2 weeks of the month, because I don't want to hit pause on my life. I want to go out and do things, and it's really annoying that like I don't want to, but I like do want to. Having to like revolve your life around this like week, unfair. It's ridiculous. And I think that it's so stupid that our bodies do this and our brains do this. I don't understand evolution. I don't get it. Why is this a thing that happens? Why is this something that occurs? Why did this not get knocked out of us at some point? Like, what evolutionary function does this serve? And why does it affect so many people? At least I kind of understand where like other things sort of come from, right? There's like things that happen in your DNA and like your chromosomes that can be like a bit messed up that cause certain things. I know like anxiety like is helpful in a way of like, I understand like where anxiety comes from and why it's there. It's just, you know, misplaced now. And I kind of get where a lot of these things come from and why they happen. I don't understand this one though. What started this and why? And why can't we get it out? If anyone understands biology in any way, please leave a whole like 10-page essay in the comments. But also, I also know that there is very little study done on, you know, female anatomy and the menstrual cycle and stuff. So there's very little information about any of it. So, you know, that's fun. Trying to figure out if I'm having a genuine episode and need to go to the hospital, or if my period is just coming. Touche. Yeah, it's concerning, right? You start getting genuinely like worried about yourself. You're like, I need to talk to my therapist, and my therapist wasn't available last week. So I was sitting there like, oh, right now would be a really good time to talk to my therapist because I'm not doing too great. And then the next day I was like, oh. But also at the same time, I think if you are, you know, struggling with these thoughts, I don't think the two need to be separate necessarily. I think if you are genuinely feeling on the edge, whether it's only going to last a few days or not, it doesn't matter, because, you know, you can still make rash decisions in a couple of days. I feel that there has probably been a lot of people who have, you know, like taken their own lives during these episodes that they have had because emotions are really that high and there's not enough support for that. Just because it is linked to this issue doesn't mean that the threat's not real, right? Like, the emotions are real. You know why you're experiencing them, but just because you know why doesn't like invalidate them. You know what I mean? I feel like I've spent a lot of time invalidating myself because I'm like, because the reason is my period, it means the emotions aren't valid. That is something that I have like thought for such a long time and like told myself for such a long time, but that's not true. That isn't how it works. And I'm taking so much effort to try to remind myself of that, of like, just because there is an explainable reason for what is causing these doesn't mean that they're not real. The emotion comes from something. Like, the spiral starts with something. The reaction I have may be like really large compared to how it normally would be, but it's still affecting me. I'm still feeling it, right? And so I think that it's still very valid to, like, if you need to, go and get support. Go into a psych ward. Like, whatever you need is very valid because you are experiencing that, and like, you, like, just because it's because of your period doesn't mean you're not going to hurt yourself, right? Important to put out there, your PMDD, PMS, whatever symptoms are valid. Doctors, we are so smart and so powerful. Also, all-knowing, by the way. Doctors, when dealing with a health condition primarily found in women. I don't know. That's scary. Also, you're making it up. Yeah. Oh my god, wait. I feel like I haven't actually shared this before. My sister is about to finish nursing school. She is in her last like week right now. So she's obviously done a lot of like medical type studying over these past few years. And she told me that in one of the textbooks that they used, like for like anatomy, for biology, for learning how to be a nurse, going into a hospital, like with real people, in the like diagrams of people, the ones for female anatomy had penises. They just drew ovaries in the male diagram. What? Why? What? What the fuck? So when they were studying anatomy, medical things surrounding that, the diagrams for the anatomy for the female body were just the male diagrams with ovaries. That is officially in official textbooks for real life actual people going into the medical field. That's astounding. That's horrific. So like, yeah, just to like really emphasize how true that is, that's still a thing. That is happening right now. Your medical doctors and staff are being taught anatomy like that. You're welcome for that information. Obviously, that's not going to be the same textbooks across the board, but it's obviously the fact that it's happening in all, and the fact also that like period products have not been tested with like blood until like what, last year, I believe. Like they've always been tested with water, which is not the same consistency at all. They like test absorption of period products with water as though that's the same as testing them with like blood. So like even just on that level, there is so little, and doctors know so little, and they do just tell you you're making it up. And a lot of the time the response to anything is just, I think you should lose weight. I came here because I'm depressed every month because of my period, and you're telling me that the solution is to lose weight. Great. I'm so glad that this is where we are. How fantastic. Love that. Brilliant. Thank you. It makes me so mad. We need to step up a lot because shit's fucked. And as already stated by so many other people, if this was something that men experienced, there would be so much research done into it. We would have so much more information. Of course, that's not where we are. They don't give a shit about us. So here we are. January 13th. Am I this unlovable? Everyone I have ever loved has left me. January 14th. Feeling so much better today. Don't know what was going on yesterday. Today I went on a walk and it was great. This has the same energy as the thing I wrote, as I shared before. And this is funnier to me because January 14th is my birthday. So, but it really is like that. Like that snap. I find it so fascinating though, because like the descent into it for me personally is slow. I don't wake up one day and I'm horrifically depressed. It like trickles in, and then there's like 3 days of it being like really intense, but there's like 5 days prior where it's just building every day. But then it is literally over overnight. I actually filmed a TikTok that I shall share, which I should have shared during the TikTok portion of the video, of myself on my worst day, which was day 1 of my period, like talking a little bit about how I was feeling in the moment, vulnerability. Here you go. I hate having a uterus so much. Like, why is it fucking fair that I have to spend 1 week of every month just wanting to die? Like, what the I'm literally, right now, I'm just sitting at my desk trying to work, and I just fucking start crying. There's no reason for me to be crying right now, but I just, like, I don't want to fucking do it anymore, right? Like, oh my god. I do totally fine. Like, I'm so fine. My mental health is fine. I'm in a good place. I'm enjoying life, whatever. And then just, like, out of nowhere, my brain just, like, starts being, like, there's no point to anything. Everything would be better if you just, like, stopped. What is even the point in living? There's no point in it. It's all for nothing. It'd be so much easier if you just went to sleep and didn't wake up. And it's constant. And it doesn't shut up. And it lasts, like, 5 to 7 days, and it happens every fucking month, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm just sitting here and I have a fucking hot water bottle on my fucking belly because I'm in pain, and I just don't want to fucking do it anymore. It sucks. So yeah, that kind of sums it up for me. I think I've made a video about it before as well, of being like, my solution for everything when I am in this part of my cycle is my brain's just like, why don't you just go step into moving traffic? I feel like that would solve all your problems. But yeah, that feeling of hopelessness fucking sucks. It's so, like, it's horrible to be happy and like your brain be like, but what's the point? Right? Like, that contrast is the worst thing ever because it makes it so confusing. Like, my life is good. Like, I am okay. I am doing well. My mental health in general is very good compared to how it has been in the past. So the fact that then every month I have a week of my brain going, but like, what's the point though? Like, it's just for nothing. There's no point. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work. I don't want to do it. It's too much and it's meaningless, and just stop. For no reason, unprompted, every single month. And it's exhausting. And I just want it to not do that. It stopped now. I'm doing good today. So, there we go. That's great. This actually relates to that a little bit. Me trying to explain why wanting to not exist isn't the same as being suicidal. And then it's my therapist. This is so real though. Like, it's different. It's different. Right? I don't want to die, but I like don't want to exist. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know how to explain it other than this, but like, they get it, so surely you also get it. And therapists maybe work on getting it. I don't know. I know I'm in my luteal phase when I do my same skin, hair, makeup routine and don't even recognize myself in the mirror because something is off. My face isn't the same. I can't explain it. This is another one I didn't realize related to the cycle. It's just something that happened and I was like, what is going on with my brain today? I will look at my face sometimes and I'll be like, I don't know you. Who is this? What is happening? And it's really weird to like, yeah, have that like weird separation from yourself and like not recognize yourself in the mirror and like have like beef with yourself. It's like body dysmorphia in a way, which obviously also gets really bad around this sort of time because everything obviously gets really bad around this sort of time. Not recognizing your face and having that weird disconnect from it and like feeling like your body is like incorrect and it's just not yours, very strange and is a big problem. And again, probably not something that is going to be written as like a symptom of anything anywhere, and you tell a doctor and they'll be like, what's wrong with you? Here, go lose some weight and you'll be fine. Because that is what they'd say. And is it helpful? No. Does it make it worse? Yes. If you went to imagine going to a doctor and like sharing that and that being their response as though that would be helpful. That's this is a puppy, and it says, when your period stops and everyone stops conspiring against you at exactly the same time. Yet suddenly, everyone hated me yesterday. They don't hate me today. That's wild. Wild. I wonder what I did to make them not hate me anymore. Oh, it was projection? Fascinating. This is something that I struggle with so much, and this is the Kermit meme of like Kermit and then he's looking at himself and he's like got his hood up and it says, I should go for a walk, eat healthy and try journaling, and then the other one's like, I should isolate myself and rot in bed all day. And oh my god, this is the biggest struggle of my life. It's this experience largely that got me my bipolar BPD diagnosis. I still in my diagnosis and what I think is like two different. That's the whole thing I've talked about before. But like this whole idea, because I get this like really, really extreme, and I used to just have it all the time, or like much more regularly, and it didn't really follow a cycle, but now it is much more noticeable in the cycle because my mental health overall is much better. But I have this thing, and I always say it makes me feel like I'm being like ripped in half from the inside. And when I shared that with my psychiatrist, he was like, I'm gonna get you some pills because that sounds terrible. And I'm like, yeah, please do. Thank you. So now I take mood stabilizers. But it is this like, this thing of I have like, it's not mania. I got told it was like more like hypomania type of energy and then depression at the exact same time, like battling each other like so loudly. And this kind of comes into the thing where I'm like, I want to like leave my skin because there is too much happening in my body right now, and I would like to be in two places. I really want to go do this thing, but I like literally like I can't, and it's so loud and so difficult. And honestly, probably, in my opinion, one of the worst experiences of like all of my mental health shit, at least that I currently experience. It's definitely the worst part of it, because it's like it leads me to end up just sitting there and staring at a wall and like screaming. Like the inside of my brain is just like, I'm sitting there and I'm like screaming, and like the room is like spinning and there's like a tornado around me kind of energy. Like that's how it feels. And that happens a lot during the week before my period. It's kind of like my entire existence, which makes working really difficult, which is how I've ended up with this video, because was I gonna be able to like properly plan 2 videos? Absolutely not. Because this was my life, and it's just so hard to break out of that. And honestly, I think myself and like everyone else who, you know, suffers from this, we need to give ourselves so much more credit than we do, because like, as I said, it's like so normalized for people to talk about being like depressed and suicidal and stuff that week before your period. But like, although it's normal in the sense that a lot of people experience it, it's not normal in the sense that like it should be something we just accept. It is something we should get support for. We do not give ourselves anywhere near enough credit to be like accomplishing things and just moving through life while we are experiencing this. Like when the entire world is like, feels like it's against you, and like you just want to like curl up in a hole and like cover yourself in sand for a week, but you are still, you know, going out and you are talking to people and you are doing your work and you are like being as functioning as you possibly can. It's like so incredible. And that brings me to this next one, which is every day my best looks different. Some days you're like doing work and you're being productive. Other days you're like being really distracted and sleepy. Some days it's just, you know, sitting and opening your curtains, and then other days it's like sitting on the ground and just like having a cry. Like your best is different every day. And I think that when you are struggling with things like this, like even just doing your best is like worthy of appreciation, and you should genuinely be proud of yourself for doing that. Like on days where getting out of bed is so hard and you still get out of bed, even if that is the only thing you were able to do that day, you did a lot, right? Like because you did something that was incredibly difficult for you. And just because it's easy on other days, like that doesn't matter. On our worst days and on our days where we struggle, we compare ourselves to our best day. And that's not helpful, because we are not always at our best, right? And also best means productive, and that's a very capitalistic sort of view on things, right? Like a lot of the time when it's like I did so good today, it's like I did a lot of work. I did a lot of labor today, so I was successful. Whereas success, that's not all there is to success, right? Like if you were able to get up and like eat 3 meals that day when you like really do not want to, that's incredible, and you should be proud of yourself for that. And I think that like we are so hard on ourselves, and society makes us so hard on ourselves, and like we feel like we have to meet a specific quota of productivity every single day, and that looks the same every day, and it's not the same. We need to stop acting like it is. Like don't hold yourself to the same standard every single day, because that's not helpful and it's only going to make it worse. Do what you can when you can. If you are pushing yourself too much, you are going to burn out. And unfortunately, I know we live in a world where we are not catered to, right? Like you can't take the day off when you are in that week before your period, on your period, whenever. Like we're not allowed to do that. We aren't given the grace that we not only deserve but require in order to like be happy and like healthy, because we aren't given the time to look after ourselves and recover and like heal. And that fucking sucks so much, right? Like we are held to standards that just like don't work. And I think in general, like if we are allowed to take that time for ourselves during those off weeks, we can put in more in our good weeks, because we haven't exhausted ourselves during our off days, right? It's kind of like the whole 4-day work week thing of, it was found that, you know, obviously not all jobs can do 4 days because of not all jobs are office jobs. The 40-hour work week, on average, they found that people only work around 4 hours per day in their 8-hour day. And then they have 2 weekend days. If you take out that 5th day and you have a 4-day work week, same hours of like 8 hours a day, so 8 hours less in the week, they get the same amount of work done. In fact, sometimes they get more work done because they have an extra day of rest. They are happier and more rested and more eager to work because they have more reward for that work. They're making the same income, they're doing the exact same amount of work, but they have more time to look after themselves and rest, so it feels more worth it and beneficial, and they're able to actually like look after themselves. And I feel like the same sort of thing could be said for this, right? Like if you have a week where you are doing really poorly and you can't put in 100%, if you are forced to put in 100% on a day where you are feeling 10%, you're only going to be able to put in like 60% if you're pushing yourself your hardest. But that also means you burnt yourself out. So on a week where you're feeling really good, you can't put in the 100% because you are recovering from that week, right? So there should be a more fluctuating amount of grace that we are given, and we should give that to ourselves as well. My point being, don't forget to feel proud of yourself and look back at your day and what you have achieved, and, you know, be proud of yourself for doing anything. You are yourself, you are your today, and that is different to everyone else and everyone else's today, and you need to acknowledge that. I think it's good to learn more about your body and yourself and your emotions and how it all moves together, and notice any patterns, and then figure out ways to help yourself and like the happiest and healthiest version of yourself that you can be. Get support where you need it, and like, you know, exist. Sometimes all you have to do is just exist and ride the wave, as I learned in DBT. I hope that this was educational, validating, any of that sort of stuff. Sometimes it's good for me to sit down and just have a bit of a rant about these things I experience, because I don't know, I find it helpful when other people do it, so I hope that you find it helpful when I do it as well. So a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Polar Bee, Sienna, Alicia, Mirielle, Bree, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic Petey, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, Jessie, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Alexis, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you.